This video is talking about debating, arguing, and discussions. Now, according to the World and the Webster Dictionary, the word debating means to discuss, to confer about, to talk over, to talk through, to talk about, to exchange views on, to exchange views about, to thrash out, to argue about, to argue pros and cons, to dispute, to wrangle over, etc., etc. Now know this. Consider a possible course of action in one's mind before reaching a decision. Now, when you argue with someone, it is to give reasons for or against something. Reasons argue for a new policy, to contend or disagree in words, to give evidence. Catch that, evidence. Now, discussion means the action or process of talking about something in order to reach a decision or to exchange ideals. A conversation or debate about a certain topic. Talk, dialogue, discourse, conference, debate, exchange views, consultation, and deliberation. Now that we got the definition, kind of sort of much know what those words mean, let me give you my opinion on the whole thing. Now, the problem I'm finding with some people, notice I said some, not all, whether in person or social media, is we don't know how to communicate with one another without yelling, cussing, belittling, screaming. I also find that everyone wants to be heard, but a lot of people don't want to listen. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm correct, communication is one at a time. Someone has to be listening while the other person is speaking. Catch that. Also, if I'm correct, the Most High gave us two ears and one mouth. Therefore, we should be listening more than we speak, especially if it's not our turn to talk. That's the problem. When it's not that person's turn to talk, they tend to cut people off because they have something to say. Write it down. Wait your turn. In my opinion, debating, arguing, or discussing does not cause for yelling, cussing, or belittling. Each person can get the same point across, speaking in a normal tone. Actually, I find that usually when people begin to yell and scream during a conversation, nothing seems to get accomplished. Anything, 9 times out of 10, things seem to become even worse than it was before they started discussing it. During a debation, discussion, or an argument, we should take into consideration how we would want the next person to be speaking to us while they are talking. Therefore, we can take into consideration the way we speak to them. Now, some people don't mind, being spoken to any kind of way. And if you don't mind being spoken to with yelling, cussing, and screaming, or being belittled, then by all means, kudos to you, but it won't be me. I also find that when it comes to a person who believes they know everything, most times that discussion will result in no hope for the next party. You may never get a word in edgewise, if any. It just may get shot down if you try to say anything. Why? Oh, because that person knows it all. People who need to resort to yelling, screaming, it's a possibility they are trying to convince themselves they are correct. Because somewhere deep down inside of them, there's a voice that's telling them, you're wrong, you're wrong, and they don't like it. The point and the moral of this video is to say, it doesn't take yelling, screaming, cussing, and belittling to get your point across. Speaking in a normal tone will deliver the same message the same way. Well, not the same way, a better way, actually. My solution, debate back and forth one at a time. And with understanding that arguing doesn't mean talking over one another. Discussing requires listening to one another by going back and forth with your dialogue. We all should be able to agree to disagree and then turn and walk away. If we have different opinions, then that's what it is. We have different opinions. It's cool. Calling names, attacking, and belittling someone will not make them agree with your point. If they don't agree, they just don't agree. Therefore, just let it be. We cannot bully people into believing or thinking the way we think. If they think differently, then they think differently. I mean, people, we just have to do better. But that's all I wanted to really say. Because I see on social media, even in real life, people walking around. It's like, can anybody just have a normal conversation anymore? Why everybody got to yell? Why is everybody talking over everybody? You know what I'm saying? When nobody's hearing each other. If anything, it's making it like chaos. It's chaos, really. It's chaos. Because everybody wants to be right. Somebody has to be wrong. We all can't be right. And by calling people names, and then like, come on, really? It's not necessary. We have to do better, especially our people, like we really do. This is why we're not growing, because these are the things that we're doing. You know what I mean? We acting like we don't know no better. Especially to hear men call women name, and it's just disgusting. But that's all I wanted to say. I'm going to say like Russell Simmons says, God bless. That man, yeah, what he's Hazu, yeah. Y'all know how you say it. God bless and good night.